Yeah, but you know what your diet doesn't have? Doesn't have Arby's in it.
Dude, I want
Oh,
a set of that. I want a set of those dice.
the Arby's
Clinton, do not
dice.
be so stereotypical as to be a fat guy with Arby's dice for a D&D, man. That's
Nothing
just a slap in your old face, man.
Oh,
Missed the Big Montana. The Big Montana with some horsey sauce, and yes, I call it horsey sauce. Put some horsey sauce on that bad boy. Oh my God! Then you dip your curly fries in the cheese dip. Oh, that's a fat boy's dream right there.
so let's. Oh yeah, we'll talk about this. This one is big with Bloodaxe right now since he is actually playing the game. I will probably pick it up as well. Probably depending on what Bloodaxe says right here will depend on whether or not I pick it up on my own Switch. So Metroid it did just come out. Now there was an article by Kotaku saying that that they've already emulated it on PC. That's how popular this game is. Within days of the release, somebody managed to get it on their computer. They also had to update the article because apparently their love for Metroid and talking about the emulation made people think that they were implying that you should emulate and pirate the game. So they had to come back and go, "We're not saying this is okay, but you're playing it on the actual Switch, not illegally."
I don't have a Switch, so you're gonna need to tell me how to.
Uh-huh.
You shouldn't emulate games.
Yeah. All right, Bloodaxe.
So, full disclosure, I've been a Metroid fan ever since the first one came out back in the 80s. And as a fan of Samus and her story, I am a fan. So I will discuss through Samus green colored glasses. But uh, it's actually a lot of fun. I know that I've streamed some of it on Twitch. I haven't streamed everything on Twitch, but you can see some of the gameplay there. But it actually is up there, not quite, but up there with Super Metroid. I've had a blast playing it. My wife and kids have actually enjoyed watching me play. I'm debating whether or not to do video clips or actually start a whole new game and do the game from start to finish for our YouTube channel. It just depends on what the group and what the our fans want to see. But I've had an absolute blast playing it. I have to tell you what, I haven't turned on Xbox in days. Not since
He
Friday. I
hasn't.
haven't turned it on at all.
He has not.
Q called me yesterday trying to make me feel guilty about not playing Gears with him. I'm like, yeah, I'm playing Metroid, bro. I'm sorry. So I've had a lot of fun. It's a typical Metroid game. Some of the gameplay mechanics are clunky, especially having to use two or three buttons to do certain moves and certain things. So the controllers aren't nearly as uh, specced out as the Xbox ones. Sensitivity is meh. The button clicks, like I said, is kind of clunky. Um, if it had a better controller system, I probably would like it a lot more. But I've had a blast with the story, and they go into more of the history and the detail of Samus than what we've had in previous games. So it's tying a lot of it together. I would recommend it, especially if you've enjoyed Metroid in the past. It's better than Prime. I'll put it that way. And even though it's a side scroller 2D, it is a lot of fun. The only game mechanic that I really just kind of don't really care for is the whole Emmy component. We saw that in the trailer video where you're being hunted by a robot that if they catch you, you're dead. It's an instant kill. So that gets kind of weird because it really you have to just run and pray that you actually find the way you're supposed to go. But it adds a new twist or a new wrinkle to the game. But like I said, it's definitely a fun play, and I'm gonna keep playing it, and I'm probably gonna play through it again.
Now you said that you had problems with the controls. Now is that the physical controller you have issues with, or the controller layout?
Both because I'm used to an Xbox controller, so all the buttons are tilted about tilted counterclockwise one tick. So what I'm used to shooting and jump with are one button off. So that's one of the weird things. And another one is you have to use your bumper and different sequences to go from your missiles to your grappling hook. And that gets really weird sometimes. And then trying to grapple and then do your dash, it gets weird. So it's just the layout is. I wish I could remap my buttons to an Xbox layout. That would be a lot better. But yeah, some of it just kind of clunky. And once you get used to it, it's okay. But when you go back to another controller, then you can start messing up again, which we've seen that with playing Gears of War versus other shooters. It just takes a little bit of time to resequence your brain as far as your button movements.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying is if it's pirated, you could use an Xbox controller.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was like, I have an Xbox controller plugged into my computer with mapping options.
That would be ideal, but I do like the fact that most of the game itself is pretty swift. It has some cutscenes in it, but the transition times from area to area isn't nearly as slow as it has been with other games. But it is a typical Metroid game. You're bouncing back and forth and trying to figure things out. So it's fun. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm probably gonna load up a whole new game and put it on YouTube for our audience to be able to see.
Well, but I got a spoiler question for you, and a spoiler warning here. But is he in the game?
Haven't found him yet.
He's still going through. Okay, because I mean, it ain't really a Metroid game to me if he ain't there. You gotta have that fight, man. It's just a classic.
Well, spoiler, but not really a big spoiler. But there is a really well done repeat of a monster from Super Metroid. I don't know if you remember the big green monster that had the spinny claws and he had the thorn platforms they would throw at you.
Yeah.
He was a Super Metroid, but they redid him in this one much better than what it was back then. Actually, it was kind of a big nostalgia fight that I really enjoyed going up against him.
And they got to bring in our space pirate, man. They got to bring the space pirate in.
Yeah, I haven't seen him the Norcrane yet, but no, if there's a Ridley fight, I'll probably stop and plug everything in and put it on Twitch.
Yeah.
So everybody can see it.
I don't know. At this point, I'm thinking I may cross my fingers, hope they put out a legal PC port for this. I mean, what, man? If so many people apparently want to play this game on PC, Nintendo would be dumb not to release it. I know their track record, okay? I know what you're giving me that look for. But what I'm saying, dude, is they're talking about...
What they're going to do is they're going to try to remove all the emulators.
They're talking about all the cool things. I mean, this Taku, and I see why they had to put the retraction in saying that we're saying that emulators are bad.
Nintendo.
Because they talk about all the cool things that you can do with the emulator, the higher resolutions, the...
If this was on Steam, I would definitely buy Metroid Dread because Bloodaxe has given it his seal of approval. He said he suggested, and there's nobody that's stricter than, like, when Bloodaxe is a fan of something, he'd be raging if this game sucked.
So
like,
Nintendo,
he would be furious.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo, listen to us.
Yeah.
Put it on PC. People will buy it.
I'll buy it from your stupid Nintendo store. I don't even know if that exists, but I'll go give you an email address and buy it. Because, I mean, it's Metroid, man. Plus, me, I like fight mechanics. Like, you're having trouble with the button mapping him. I'm like, oh, no, man, I play action RPGs. I'm used to, like, I got to switch my active list over. I'm on Scarlet Nexus. Scarlet Nexus uses every dang button on the controller. Left bumper changes every button. Right bumper changes it to another series of linked buttons. Left and right triggers it. So when I'm playing Scarlet Nexus, it looks like I'm playing an old Street Fighter. I'm like... And then, of course, I do that. Like you say, I hit the wrong button, and instead of slowing time, I just go headbutt a goddamn spike like an idiot. It's like, slow time, and my character runs up. It's like, oh, wrong button.
Yeah, the parry mechanic is a nice new twist and wrinkle as well. Because if you're able to parry an enemy, you get an instant kill and you get more resources, whether it be energy or missiles. So it really helps, especially if you're kind of down on your energy tanks.
Yeah.
But if I'm willing to play through it again without even finishing it, yeah, no, it's a fun game.
All right.
I wish it was 2-player because Mrs. Bloodaxe wants to play with me.
Oh man, if it was 2-player, I'd get in on that action. Since apparently you don't play Gears anymore. He went through the trouble of
will
finally getting me
eventually.
to like the game, and then he stopped. See how he does me?
Well, hang on. We got Gears we're playing. We got Back for Blood coming out next week, and then we've got the Grounded update, which we'll talk about here in a second. So it's a busy month. It's a really busy month.
Why? Men's in the title. I'm like, if that's all you see when you see the X-Men, then you're shallow and ignorant, and you don't know what they're about. You don't understand the struggle, and you don't know what they're about. So go fuck yourself.